सो दृष्टि खत्म कर रहे थे हम लोग। हमने लास्ट टाइम यहाँ पे छोड़ा था, सेम कंप्लीट हमने पढ़ लिया था। मिसलेनियस पढ़ रहे थे, मिसलेनियस शॉर्ट्स कंप्लीट कर लिया था। हम इकोनॉमिक सर्वे 2022-23 वाले कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स हैं, उन्हें रख लेते हैं। 31 जनवरी 2023 टेबल इकोनॉमिक सर्वे 2022-23 in Parliament, the economic survey prepared by the Department of Economic Affairs, Ministry of Finance, and under the guidance of Chief Economic Advisor. The current Chief Economic Advisor is Anand Nageshwaram. Chief Economic Advisor कौन है? Anand Nageshwaram. The survey has determined the real GDP growth in 2023-24 6.5%. The actual growth rate would lie in the range of 6 to 6% depending on the actual real GDP. वो 6.5 है, एक्चुअल वाली 6 से 6.8 के बीच में, डिपेंडिंग ऑन द ट्रेजेक्टरी ऑफ द इकोनॉमी एंड द पॉलिटिकल डेवलपमेंट ग्लोबली। 2022-23 जीडीपी इज एक्सपेक्टेड टू गो एट 7% इन रियल टर्म्स। 22-23 23-24 में 6.5%, 22-23 में 7%। इंडिया द थर्ड लार्जेस्ट इकोनॉमी इन द वर्ल्ड इन द परचेजिंग पावर पैरिटी एंड द फिफ्थ लार्जेस्ट इन मार्केट एक्सचेंज रेट। मार्केट में जो एक्सचेंज रेट है उसमें फिफ्थ है, थर्ड जो है वो परचेजिंग पावर पैरिटी। रिटेल इन्फ्लेशन जो है एस्टिमेटेड है 6.8%। 2021-22 में 5.5% था, 22-23 में 6.8% है। रियल इन्फ्लेशन इंक्रीज टू 7.8% इन द मंथ ऑफ अप्रैल बिफोर फॉरेन 7.8 in month of April. The economic survey experts inflation survey expects inflation in 2023 to be lower than 2022 on the back of less economic uncertainty. The India recorded a current account deficit of USD 36.4 billion, that is 4.4% of GDP in the second quarter, as compared to deficit of 9.7 billion and 1.3% in the second quarter. Between April and September, India recorded a current account deficit April-September 2022 में 3.3%. And the GDP due to an increase in merchandise trade deficit, the sharp rise in oil prices, and the foreign portfolio investment outflow (FPI) outflow due to the rise in interest rate abroad put pressure on India's balance of payment in 2020. Is the central government fiscal deficit moderated to fiscal deficit 6.7% GDP in 2020 after increasing to 9.2%. The buoyant revenue collection over the last 2 years have helped in bringing down the revenue collection. Fiscal deficit. The survey estimated that the central government is on track to meet its fiscal deficit target. Fiscal deficit target for 2022 is 6.4% of GDP in 2022. The central government deficit estimated to be the central government deficit is estimated to be 9.4% of GDP, lower than 2021-22. Total liabilities of the central government estimated to decline from 59.2% of GDP in 2020 is equals to 56%. Total liabilities of the central government 59.2% 2020-21 में 59.2 से 56%. Outstanding liabilities of the central government estimated to be outstanding, देखो actually 59.2 है central government की total liability. Outstanding 86.5%. Most of this is held by resident and denominated by national debt is entirely owed to the official sources which insulated from exchanges in international capital market. About 98% of the debt is contracted at fixed interest rate, insulating from changes in the interest rate. India's agriculture sector has grown at an average rate of 4.6% in 21-22 में 3% lower than 2020-21 by 3.3 था, 3.3 से 21-22 में 3 हुआ, 4.6 हो गया. India has also emerged as a net exporter of agricultural products with export reaching on all-time high of GST 50.2 billion. Production of food grain and oilseed has been increasing per year. However, wheat production had adversely impacted 2022 due to an early heat wave. The survey observed that there has been a consistent increase in the constitutional agriculture credit. Agriculture credit was 13% higher than the target of 16.5 lakh crore. The target for agriculture credit is 18.5 lakh crore. Industry accounts for 31% of India's GDP, employs over 12.1 crore people. In 2022, industry sector is estimated to grow by in 2022, the industry sector is estimated to grow by 6.7%. India is ranked third worldwide in the production of pharma products by volume and 14th by value. Volume by third and value by the sector is the largest producer of generic medicine globally, occupying 20% of the share in the global supply. By volume is also leading vaccine manufacturer, vaccine manufacturer globally with a market share of 60%. The service sector recovered swiftly in 2021 after being a maximum burden on the pandemic. 2020-21 the service sector grew by 8.4% compared to contraction of 7.8% and grew by 8.4%. 2022 the service sector is estimated to grow by 9.5 है, तो 7.8% कॉन्ट्रैक्ट किया, 8.5% पे ग्रो किया, अब 9.1 करेगा FDI। द वर्ल्ड इन्वेस्टमेंट रिपोर्ट 2022 ऑफ यूनाइटेड नेशन कॉन्फ्रेंस ऑन डेवलपमेंट प्लेसेस इंडिया एज द सेवन लार्जेस्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट ऑफ FDI इन द टॉप 20 कंट्रीज 2021। In financial year 22, India received the highest ever FDI inflows of 84.8 billion, but 7.1 of 84.9 in equity in the service sector. Then India achieved an all-time high annual merchandise export of USC. Merchandise export of US 422 billion. The merchandise export was US 332.8 billion over April-December 2022 against the US with 305. In the period April-December 2021, the non-petroleum and non-gems and jewelry export in April-December 2022 was US $233.5 billion as compared to now non-petroleum and non-gems and jewelry export in April-December 2022 was US $23.5 billion as compared to US $230 billion. Petroleum, oil and lubricants and export continued about 21.1%, and non-petroleum oil and lubricant export was 78.9% of the total export. And the foreign investment, consisting of foreign direct investment and foreign portfolio investment, is the largest component of the capital account. Foreign investment as a key foreign investment consisting of foreign direct investment and foreign portfolio investment, and is the largest component of the capital account. FDI and FPI during April 2022 is gross FDI inflows. FDI कितना आया था 39.3 billion, and as compared to US 42.4 billion. Computer, software and hardware are attracted to the highest year of FDI equity inflow 23.5%. So software, hardware, services 15.4%, and trading. In terms of FDI inflow, Singapore was the top investing company of 37% share, followed by the Mauritius 12.1%, UAE सबसे ज़्यादा सिंगापुर की 37%, मॉरिशस 12%, UAE 11%, USA 10%. Foreign exchange reserve as of December 2022, foreign reserves stood at US 563 billion, and recovery 9.3 month of import as of end November 2009. 9.3 month तक import चल जाएगा. 563 9.3. India is the sixth largest foreign exchange reserve holder in the world. The remittance are the second largest major source of external financing after service export. Remittance is the second largest major source of external financing. Remittance are the second. Foreign exchange. India is the sixth largest foreign exchange reserve holder in the world. Remittance are the second largest major source of external financing after service export. Remittance are the second largest major source of external financing after the service export. Union Minister of Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman presented the budget 2023-24 on 1 February 2023. The government estimated a nominal GDP growth rate of 10.5%. Nominal GDP growth rate जो है वो 10.5% का. Fiscal deficit target at 6.4% achieved in the revised estimate. Fiscal deficit in 2023-24 is targeted at 5.9%. Fiscal deficit target of 6.4% achieved in the revised remittances. Fiscal deficit, okay. Union Finance Minister passed the budget on 1 February 2023. The government has estimated a nominal GDP growth rate of 10.5%. उन्होंने कहा जो nominal GDP है वो 10.5% है. The government has estimated nominal GDP, and the fiscal deficit target कितना 6.4 achieved. The revised estimate fiscal deficit in 2023 is stated at 5.9%. The government proposes to spend rupees 45,000 crore in 2023, which is an increase of 7.5% of the revised estimate. सबसे ज़्यादा borrowing and other liabilities आती 34%, income tax 15%, goods and service and other tax 17%, कॉर्पोरेशन टैक्स 15% है. 15 कॉर्पोरेशन भी है, इनकम भी है. यूनियन एक्साइज 7% है. बाकी 20% with annual income up to 7 lakh will not have to pay any tax. Also, number of slab in the tax structure is reduced to 5. Number of slab in the tax structure reduced to 5. Important highlights of the budget 2008, where the government is estimated to spend rupees 45,4503097 crore. The government is estimated to spend rupees 45,003,097 crore in 2023-24, an increase of 7.5% over the revised estimate 2022. Out of the total expenditure, the revenue expenditure is estimated to be इसमें से 45,03,097. Revenue expenditure is 35,02,136. Capital expenditure 10,00961. Total है 45,03,097, 35,02,136. Capital 10,009. The total received government received excluding or estimated to be 27,000. Total received government received is 27,000 an increase of 11.7%. The breakup of central government receipt in 2023. The center gave a boost to infrastructure development. Infrastructure development and earmarked rupees 10 lakh crore as capital expenditure for financial year 2023. This is 33% higher than the rupees 7.5 lakh crore fiscal deficit. What is the fiscal deficit? Fiscal deficit is the difference between the government total expenditure and its total receipt, excluding borrowing. To gross fiscal deficit, total expenditure, that is revenue received plus non-debt creating capital receipt. In the total indirect tax collection is estimated to rupees 15,29,200 in 2023. Of this, the government has estimated to rupees 9,056. डायरेक्ट टैक्स कलेक्शन कितना हुआ है? 15,29,200. ठीक है. और द गवर्नमेंट इज रुपीज 956,600 करोड़ फ्रॉम जीएसटी. द कॉर्पोरेशन टैक्स द कलेक्शन फ्रॉम टैक्सेस ऑन कंपनीज एक्सपेक्टेड टू इंक्रीज बाय 10.5%. द कॉर्पोरेट टैक्स कलेक्शन एक्सपेक्टेड टू बी 16%. बजट 7,020 करोड़. इनकम टैक्स फ्रॉम द इनकम टैक्स एक्सपेक्टेड टू इंक्रीज बाय 10.5% ड्यू टू रुपीज 9. ये 9 लाख है, ये 7,20,000. नॉन टैक्स रिसीट. नॉन टैक्स रिसीट मेनली बाय नॉन टैक्स रेवेन्यू. नॉन टैक्स रेवेन्यू रुपीज़ गोज टू. सबसे ज़्यादा रुपये कहाँ जाता है? स्टेट शेयर्स एंड इंटरेस्ट पेमेंट में 20% जाता है. फिर स्टेट का शेयर एंड ड्यूटीज़ में 18%. फिर सेंट्रल सेक्टर की स्कीम में 17% है. उसके बाद है सेंट्रल स्पॉन्सर स्कीम में 9% है. फाइनेंस कमीशन एंड अदर ट्रांसफर 9% है. सब्सिडी 7% जाती है एंड डिफेंस में 8% जाता है. ओके. Mainly of the interest received or loans given by the center divided non-tax revenue mainly by interest. Non-tax revenue is expected to increase by 15%. This investment target, the investment turn target for 2023 rupees is 51,000 crore, a marginal increase of 2% of estimate 2022. तो सबसे ज़्यादा जो है एक्चुअल देखा जाए इस पर बजट में सबसे ज़्यादा पैसा जो है एक्सपेंडिचर ऑन सब्सिडीज़ की बात करते हैं. 2023-24 में टोटल एक्सपेंडिचर ऑन सब्सिडीज एस्टिमेटेड रुपीज़ 4. एक्सपेंडिचर ऑन सब्सिडीज में 4 लाख, अ डिक्रीज ऑफ 28.3%. फूड सब्सिडी एलोकेशन टू फूड सब्सिडी में टू 1 लाख. डिफेंस सब्सिडी में 4 लाख. और फूड सब्सिडी जो है इसमें सबसे ज़्यादा 1 लाख से फर्टिलाइजर सब्सिडी. फर्टिलाइजर 31.3% एक्सपेंडिचर और फर्टिलाइजर सब्सिडी 1,75,000. दिस इज अ डिक्रीज ऑफ 50,000. फिजिकल डेफिसिट इन 2023-24 टारगेट किया 5.9% ऑफ जीडीपी एंड लोअर द रिवाइज एस्टिमेट ऑफ 6.4 जीडीपी. रेवेन्यू डेफिसिट एक्सेस ऑफ द एक्सपेंसेस ओवर द रिसीट और रेवेन्यू अकाउंट is called revenue deficit. The revenue deficit is equal to revenue expense minus revenue received. Revenue deficit is targeted at 2.9%. Revenue deficit 2.9% of GDP in the budget estimate 2023 4.1% GDP in the revised estimate. Effective revenue deficit. Effective revenue deficit is the difference between the revenue deficit and grant to state for creation of capital asset. Effective is revenue deficit and grant to state. Effective revenue deficit and grant to state for creation of capital asset. Effective revenue deficit in the budget estimate to be 1.7% of GDP or 2% GDP in the revised estimate 2023 is the 22. The primary deficit defined as the difference between the fiscal. Primary deficit क्या होता है? Fiscal deficit of the previous year interest payment of the government. Primary deficit in the budget 2023 2.3% of GDP by 3% of GDP the revised estimate. Fiscal responsibility and budget management. Fiscal responsibility and budget management Act 2003 requires the central government to progressively reduce its outstanding fiscal responsibility and budget management. FRBM Act 2003 requires the central government to progressively reduce its outstanding debt to revenue deficit and fiscal deficit. Debt, revenue deficit and fiscal deficit over 3 years term. The budget is being the finance minister reiterated the government aim to reduce the fiscal deficit to below 4.5% of GDP in 2025-26. Okay, fiscal deficit actual कितना किया था? 6.7%. डिवाइस कितना हुआ? 6.4%. बजटेड टू हुआ 5.9%. रेवेन्यू डेफिसिट जो है वो 4.4% हुआ है. हमें फिजिकल डेफिसिट जो है 4.5% तक लाना है. ठीक है. रेवेन्यू डेफिसिट 4.4%, 4.1, 2.9, 4.4, 4.1, 7 से 4 3 कम हुआ, 4 से 3 कम हुआ, 3.3 से 3 कम हुआ, तो 6.7, 4.4, 3.2. सबसे ज़्यादा फिजिकल डेफिसिट है 4.5% लाना 2025-26 तक. रेवेन्यू डेफिसिट 4.4% है. प्राइमरी डेफिसिट 3.3% है. Important tax proposal in the finance bill. Centrally those with income up to rupees 5 lakh can avail a rebate and not pay any tax to. This limit has been raised to rupees 7 lakh. The number of tax has also been reduced from 6 to 5. The surcharge of the income when it exceeds rupees 5 crore will be reduced from surcharge. The income when it exceeds rupees 5 crore will be reduced from 37 to 25%. Important announcement in the budget. The budget hopes to build the foundation laid in the previous budget and the blueprint drawn on the India at the rate 100 of vision for scale opportunities for citizens will focus on the growth and job creation, strong and stable macroeconomic environment. Macroeconomic per capita income has more than doubled to rupees is 1.97 lakh in around 9 years. Indian economy is increasing size from being 10 to the fifth largest. The EPFO membership more than doubling to 27 crore and 7,400 crore digital payment of rupees 126 lakh crore has taken place through UPI in 2022. 11.7 crore household toil 11.7 crore household toil under the Swachh Bharat mission. 11 कितने household toil घर में कितने टॉयलेट बनने 11.7 crore in the Swachh Bharat mission. 9.6 crore LPG connection under the Ujjwala and 220 crore COVID vaccination and 47.8 crore PM Jan Dhan account insurance cover of rupees 44.6 crore under the PM Suraksha Bima, PM Juvan Jyoti Yojana and the cash transfer of 2.2 lakh crore to 11.4 crore farmers. PM Kisan Samman Nidhi 2.2 lakh crore कितने का आवाज 11.4 crore. Priorities in the budget of the following 7 priorities they complement each other and act as a Saptarishi guiding us through Amrit Kaal. Priority 1 Saptarishi ओके पहला है इंक्लूसिव डेवलपमेंट होना चाहिए एग्रीकल्चर एंड कोऑपरेशन में. डिजिटल पब्लिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर फॉर एग्रीकल्चर विल बी बिल्ट एंड एग्रीकल्चर एक्सेलरेटेड फंड विल बी सेट अप टू इंक्रीज द एग्री स्टार्टअप्स बाय द यंग एंटरप्रेन्योर. गवर्नमेंट विल लॉन्च अ 8 member क्लीन प्लांट प्रोग्राम टू बूस्ट अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ डिसीज फ्री क्वालिटी प्लांटिंग फॉर हाई वैल्यू हॉर्टिकल्चर क्रॉप इन ग्लोबल हब फॉर मिलेट श्री. And India is the largest producer and the second largest exporter of the Sri and in the world. Largest producer, second largest exporter. The Indian Institute of Millet Research in Hyderabad will be supported as the Center of Excellence, Health Education and Skilling. 157 new nursing college for mission structure to eliminate sickle cell anemia by 2047. Health education. 157 new nursing college sickle cell anemia by 2047 priority reaching the last month. Recently the government has launched the aspirational block program covering 500 block for saturation in 500 block for saturation of essential government service to improve the socio-economic condition of the particularly vulnerable tribal group by the Pradhan Mantri particularly vulnerable tribal group development mission. Bharat shared repository of inscription Bharat shared repository of inscription will be set up in digital epigraphy museum. Bharat Shri infrastructure and investment. Bharat shared repository of inscription. Bharat will set up digital epigraphy. Priority the infrastructure and investment. Capital investment is driver of growth. The capital investment outlay is being increased deeply for the third year in a row by 33% to rupees 10 lakh crore, which would be 3.3% of the GDP. 3.3% GDP, 33% 10 lakh crore. This will be the almost 3 times outlay in 2019. The capital outlay of 2.40 lakh crore has been provided for the इसमें टोटल कितना 10 लाख करोड़ उसमें से 2.40 लाख करोड़ जो है रेलवे का द हाईएस्ट एवर आउटले अबाउट 9 टाइम अनलीशिंग द पोटेंशियल अंडर मिशन कर्मयोगी सेंटर स्टेट एंड यूनियन टेरिटरीज आर मेकिंग इम्प्लीमेंटिंग कैपेसिटी ई बिल्डिंग प्लान फॉर द सिविल सर्वेंट. Vivasi Vishwas 2 will be introduced for MSME for settling contractual dispute and entry DigiLocker. DigiLocker will be set up for use by the MSME, large businesses and charitable trusts. PM Pranam to be launched will incentivize the state duty to promote the uses of alternative fertilizer. 500 new waste to wealth plan to be established. Waste to wealth plan to be established under the Govardhan scheme for promoting circular economy. Setting up 10,000 bio input resource center to facilitate farmers to adopt 10,000 bio input. ठीक है बायो इनपुट रिसोर्स टू फैसिलिटेट फार्मर्स टू अडॉप्ट नेचुरल फार्मिंग. प्रमोशन ऑफ बैटरी एनर्जी स्टोरेज सिस्टम. प्रमोशन ऑफ कोस्टल शिपिंग फॉर एनर्जी एफिशिएंट ट्रांसपोर्टेशन एंड फंड्स टू बी एलोकेटेड फॉर डिप्लॉइंग ओल्ड पोल्यूटिंग व्हीकल यूथ पावर. प्रधानमंत्री कौशल विकास योजना 4.0 will be launched to skill and lakhs of youth within the next 3 states will be encouraged to set up unity malls for promotion and sale of one district one product GI and handicraft product. One district one product GI and handicraft. Financial sector. Setting up of national financial information registry to create to enable the efficient lending, promote financial inclusion, enhance financial stability. Efficiently lend करेंगे financial inclusion होगा, financial stability होगी. Setting up a central data processing center for faster handling of the administrative work under the Companies Act. credit guarantee scheme for MSME expanded corpus under the revamped scheme to enable the additional collateral free guaranteed credit of rupees 2 lakh crore. Expanded credit guarantee scheme for MSME expanded corpus under the revamped scheme to enable the additional collateral to free guaranteed credit of 2 lakh crore. Mahila Samman Bachat Patra Mahila Samman one time new small savings scheme for 2 year period. A one time है न्यू स्मॉल सेविंग्स है फॉर 2 year period with a deposit facility up to 2 lakh for women and benefit for senior citizen enhanced maximum deposit limit for the senior citizen savings scheme savings scheme for 15 से 30 lakh initiative to promote the business activity in gift IFC create more trained professional in securities market by award educational certificate. Okay, SpaceX to launch GSAT-20 on 3 जनवरी 2000 गवर्नमेंट टू रन न्यू स्पेस इस NSIL इसरो का कमर्शियल आर्म had announced that its newest communication satellite GSAT-20 would be flying on America's SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. This is the first time that the Indian government satellite would be flying on Elon Musk's rocket. However, the small satellite it made by Indian private firm startups have been launched by the Falcon 9. This is the first time that the Indian government satellite, Indian government satellite. Okay, GSAT-20 it was renamed as GSAT-N2. The satellite weighing 750 kg offers STS capacity of nearly 48 gigabit per second and is specifically designed to meet the demanding service needs of the remote and the unconnected regions. GSAT-20 is the National Space India Limited's second fully funded satellite mission. GSAT will operate in the Ka-band spectrum and provide a high throughput satellite capacity and primarily for broadband connectivity and cellular backhaul service. Its coverage zone spans the entire Indian mainland and the change of Andaman, Nicobar and Lakshadweep. About Ka-band refers to the radio frequency ranging from 27 to 40 GHz. The band allows the high-speed satellite data transfer with Ka-band क्या है radio frequency 27 से 40 GHz. This band allows the high-speed satellite data transfer with wide coverage through the focus spot beam. Study of God of Chaos asteroid. The NASA has relaunched a spacecraft to study the asteroid. इसका नाम है Apophis. The Apophis, also called the God of Chaos, is likely to fly close to Earth on 13 April 2029. Apophis, God of Chaos, 13 April 2029, and will be the only 20,000 miles away, which is closer in comparison to a few man-made satellites and will be visible in the eastern hemisphere. Apophis was discovered in 2004. The asteroid was gained notoriety as one of the most hazardous asteroids that could impact Earth. It is a near-Earth estimated to be 1115 feet across. To analyze Apophis, the rare cosmic encounter, NASA had redirected the OSIRIS-TESS spacecraft that recently returned from the asteroid. To analyze the Apophis, a rare cosmic encounter, NASA has redirected Apophis को स्टडी करने के लिए एनालाइज करने के लिए ओसिरिस रेक्स स्पेसक्राफ्ट दैट रिसेंटली रिटर्न फ्रॉम द एस्टेरॉयड Bennu. Osiris Rex has carried out a 7-year journey to bring Earth a sample of asteroid Bennu. The Osiris Rex spacecraft is now renamed as Osiris Apex. ठीक है, spectral interpretation, resource identification and security, Apophis Explorer. ठीक है, अब उसका नाम पहले रेक्स था, अब उसका नाम एपेक्स हो गया. इन स्टेटमेंट ऑन 22 दिसंबर 2023 NASA officially launched Osiris Apex to observe Apophis. The spacecraft funding will give insight into our planet formation and how solar system debris evolved into the world. Omicron subvariant JN1 recently in December 2022, researchers at the University of Tokyo predicted that the Omicron subvariant JN1 is poised to become the dominant lineage of SARS-CoV-2 virus worldwide. Toward the end of the November 2022, JN1 Omicron subvariant JN1 surprised the HK3 in France and Spain. The emergence of the Omicron subvariant JN1 has raised concern. Researchers at the University of Tokyo predicted the Omicron subvariant JN1 is poised to become the dominant lineage of SARS-CoV-2 virus. Toward the end of the November 2023, JN1 surpassed HK3 in France and Spain. The emergence of the Omicron subvariant JN1 has raised concern due to its unique mutation in spike protein, especially L4F55S, referred to as F-flip mutation. Evolution from BA2 lineage to JN1. JN1, an offshoot of BA, swiftly gained dominance globally, characterized by the spike protein in mutation and surprising other Omicron subvariants EG and HK3. HK3 France and Spain. उसके बाद फिर है, it is noteworthy that JN1 rise doesn't inherently denote increased danger, but rather reflects the virus' natural propensity to mutate. Insights and transmissibility research from Peking University in the Lancet Infectious Disease revealed that JN1 with L455 mutation, JN1 L455S mutation repeatedly dominated over its predecessor 2.86. The National Mega Science Project SK recently in December 2023, India has formally joined the world's largest radio telescope project called the Square Kilometer Array Observatory. world's largest radio telescope project called Square Kilometer Array Observatory. The Union Cabinet has appointed for contributing to 1250 crore to this multinational initiative, which includes over 16 nations. The Square Kilometer Array Observatory project will be developed by 16 nations: India, Australia, South Africa, Canada, China, Japan, South Korea, UK, Portugal, Spain, Switzerland, France, Germany, Netherlands, Sweden, Italy. The development of Square Kilometer Array Observatory telescope will mainly take place in Australia and South Africa. Square Kilometer Array Observatory. The Council approved the installation of the Square Kilometer Array Observatory, the world's largest radio. Okay, एक मिनट. Recently, this summer, India has finally joined the world's largest radio telescope project called the Square Kilometer Array Telescope. The Union Cabinet approved for contributing 1250 crore to this multinational initiative, which includes over 16 nations. The Square Kilometer Array Observatory 16 नेशन बनाएंगे. इसमें इंडिया, ऑस्ट्रेलिया तो न्यूजीलैंड है. वाह, यहाँ पे नहीं है. अफ्रीका में साउथ अफ्रीका, यूएसए में देखो कनाडा हो गया, अपना चाइना हो गया, जापान, साउथ कोरिया, कनाडा और देखो यूके, पोर्टुगल, स्पेन, स्विट्जरलैंड, फ्रांस, जर्मनी, नीदरलैंड, स्वीडन, Italy. The development of Square Kilometer Observatory will mainly take place in Australia and South Africa. The Square Council approved the installation of Square Kilometer Array Observatory, the world's largest radio telescope. The Square Kilometer Array Observatory is not one telescope but a network of thousands of radio antennas spread over vast distance of Australia and South Africa. When completed, it will be the largest and the most powerful radio telescope on Earth. The Square Kilometer Array will be built in 2 phases in whole. The first phase of the construction of Square Kilometer Array Observatory 1 beginning December 2020. The complete rescue and telescope to begin operation by 2029. The project came to build the world's largest radio telescope spanning over a square kilometer, and that will help in mapping out and studying all visible galaxies to the edge of the universe. Detail which never has been done. It will be 15 times more sensitive than any other radio instrument. India's role in Square Kilometer. India's main contribution to the Square Kilometer Array Observatory is the creation and management of the telescope manager component, and also known as neural component or software that powers the telescope. NCRA is a unit of Tata Institute of Fundamental Research. NCRA is the unit of Tata Institute of Fundamental Research which operates India's largest network. NCRA is the unit of Tata Institute. इंडिया का मेन कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट है मैनेजमेंट टेलीस्कोप मैनेजर कंपोनेंट, ऑल्सो नोन एज neural network or software that powers the telescope. NCRA is a unit of the Tata Institute Fundamental Research which operates India's largest network of radio telescope called the Giant Meter Wave Radio Telescope in near Pune. WHO pre-qualifies the second malaria vaccine. Recently, WHO added the R21 Matrix M malaria vaccine developed by the Oxford University and manufactured by the Serum Institute of India to its list of pre-qualified vaccines. In October 2000, the WHO has recommended its use for the prevention of malaria in children following the advice of the WHO. Recommended is used for the prevention of malaria in children. The WHO recommended is used for the prevention of malaria in children. Second, recently WHO added R21 Matrix M, developed by Oxford University, manufactured by Serum Institute of India. WHO recommended is used for the prevention of malaria in children following for the advice of the WHO Strategic Advisory Group of Experts on Immunization and the Malaria Policy Advisory Group. R21 vaccine is the second is the second malaria vaccine qualified by WHO following RT. पहले था RTS AS01 R21 Matrix, which has obtained pre-qualification. It added that both vaccines have been shown to safe and effective in clinical trial for preventing malaria in children. The pre-qualification means larger access to vaccine as a key tool to prevent malaria in children, with it being a prerequisite for vaccine document to procurement by UNICEF and funding support for development of Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance. Funding support for deployment of Gavi. The pre-qualification means larger access to vaccine as a key tool to prevent malaria in children, with it being a prerequisite for vaccine procurement by UNICEF and funding support for development of Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance. It was there was an estimated 249 million malaria cases in the world and 6,08,000 malaria deaths. कितने केस 249 million cases, 6,08,000 deaths. According to WHO, vaccine pre-qualification ensures that vaccines used in global immunization program are safe and effective within the condition of use in the targeted. Accordingly, achieving WHO vaccine pre-qualification ensures that vaccines used in global immunization program safe and effective within their condition of use in the targeted health system. Noma as neglected tropical disease. Recently, WHO added Noma to its list of neglected tropical disease, underscoring the urgent need to address this health challenge and allocate resources for prevention and treatment. The decision was recommended by the 17th meeting of the Strategic Noma is a neglected tropical. Recently, the WHO added Noma as a neglected tropical disease, underscoring the urgent address this health challenge and allocate resources for prevention and treatment. The decision, which was recommended by the 17th meeting of the Strategic and the Technical Advisory Group for the Strategic and Technical Advisory Group for Non-Tropical Disease, Neglected Tropical Disease, underscore WHO's commitment to expand in health service to the world's most vulnerable population. Noma, a severe dangerous disease, gangrenous disease of the mouth and face, primarily affect the malnourished young children between the age of 2 to 6 years in the region of extreme poverty. It starts as an inflammation of the gum, which is not treated early, spreads quickly to destroy the facial tissues and bones. It frequently leads to death, with survivors suffering several disfigurements. New malaria amphipoid species found in Chilka. Recently, researchers at Berhampur University, Odisha, have unveiled a new species of marine amphipoid, namely Demorchestia elanensis in Chilka Lake, contributing to global marine biodiversity. Chilka Lake है. Recently, researchers at Berhampur University have unveiled a new species of marine amphipoid. मरीन है, एम्फीपॉड है, चिल्का लेक में मिला है. नाम क्या है? डेमोरचेस्टिया एलेंसिस. Demorchestia elensis. The new species was named Demorchestia elensis after the global expert Professor Alan Meyer, a University College Cork, Ireland, who has made a significant contribution to global marine amphipod. The family Telitree is considered one of the oldest group of amphipods. It is believed to have been on the planet in the Jurassic Age, divided into 4 family. एक हमारा हो गया Telitree ने, एक Florechestis ने, एक Pseudo and एक Plato. Google unveils Project Gemini. Google on chain launches largest language model Gemini, which is a technology capable of crunching different forms of information such as audio, video, and text crunching. Gemini gets close to the vision of AI that feels less like a smart piece of software and more like something useful. And कोई भी AI that feels less like a smart piece of software and more like something useful and intuitive and expert helper or assistant. It is also multimodal, which means it can work, understand, and operate across text, code, audio, video, and audio. By contrast, ChatGPT cannot work on video at the moment. Gemini gets close to the vision AI that feels less like a smart piece of software and more like something useful, intuitive, and expert helper or expert assistant. It is also multimodal, which means it can work, understand, and operate across text, code, audio, video, image, and video. By contrast, ChatGPT cannot work on video at the moment, at least not natively. It is also much more powerful than existing model. Google claims Gemini ultra performance exceeds Gemini's ultra performance exceeds the current state of the art results of the 32 widely used academic benchmark used in the large language model research and development. Gemini can understand, explain, and generate high quality code in the world's most popular programming language like Python, Java, C++, and Go. Gemini Ultra is the first model to outperform human expert on massive multitask understanding, which uses a combination of 57 skills such as math, physics, history, law, medicine, ethics for testing both the word knowledge and problem solving ability. India's first Pompe disease patient passes away. Recently, Nidhi Shirol, India के पहले Pompe disease patient passed away last month at the age of 24 years after battling the disease. He is India के पहले Pompe disease at the age of 24. She spent the last 6 years in a semi-comatose state. In 2003, her father, Prasanna Shirol, started the Organization for the Rare Disease in India, the first NGO in the country for rare disease. Here he explained what the disease and how common and how it is diagnosed. Also known as Pompe disease, glycogen storage disease type 2. Pompe disease is a rare genetic disorder caused by the deficiency of the enzyme called acid alpha glucosidase. This enzyme is crucial for breaking down glycogen into glucose within the lysomes of the cell. Its prevalence estimate range from 1 in 40,000 to 1 in 3 lakh births. It occurs across diverse ethnicities and populations. The age of onset and severity can vary, leading to the spectrum of clinical presentation. Aditya L1, India का पहला सोलर मिशन. On 6 January 2024, Aditya L1 has entered into the sun orbit. After the 4-month journey, it has reached the spot in space from where it will be able to continuously watch the sun. Aditya L1 has entered into sun's orbit. Launched by ISRO, launched on 2 September 2023. Launch site Satish Dhawan Space Center, Sriharikota, Andhra Pradesh. On 6 जनवरी 2000 आदित्य एल वन has returned to sun orbit. आदित्य एल वन कहाँ पहुँचे? सन के ऑर्बिट में. आफ्टर अ 4-month journey it has reached the spot in space from where it will be able to continuously watch the sun. Launched by ISRO. Launch on 2 सितंबर 2023 सतीश धवन स्पेस सेंटर श्रीहरिकोटा आंध्र प्रदेश. 2 सितंबर को लॉन्च किया था. सतीश धवन स्पेस सेंटर श्रीहरिकोटा से लॉन्च किया था 2 सितंबर को. Aditya shall be the first space-based Indian mission to study the sun. Aditya in Sanskrit means the sun. L1 here means the reference point of the sun Earth system. This allows an object to place there to remain relatively stable with respect to both. This allows an object placed there to remain relatively stable with respect to both solution body. The spacecraft shall be placed in the halo orbit around the Lagrange point L1 of the sun Earth system, which is about 1.5 kilometers from the Earth. The satellite placed in the halo orbit around the L1 endpoint has the major advantage of continuously viewing the sun without any occlusion eclipse. According to ISRO, Aditya L1 is the first space-based observatory to study the sun. Previously, space agencies of Europe, the US Space Agency, ISRO is the first space observatory to study the sun. US space have launched submission. Europe, US, and Japan, China have launched submission. The major science objective of the Aditya L1 mission, the study of the solar upper atmosphere, that is chromosphere and coronal dynamics, study of the chromospheric and coronal heating, physics of the partially ionized plasma, initiation of the coronal mass injection and flares, observe the in situ particle and the plasma environment, providing data for the study of the particle dynamics from the sun. The Aditya L1 mission carries a unit of 7 scientific payloads to carry out systematic study of the sun. Visible emission line coronagraph. Visible emission line coronagraph. This payload will image the solar corona in the visible light spectrum. Visible emission line coronagraph. Solar ultraviolet imaging suit. Solar ultraviolet imaging telescope. This payload will image the solar the chromosphere and transition begin in the ultraviolet light spectrum. Solar low energy X-ray spectrum. Solar low energy X-ray spectrometer. This payload will measure the spectrum of the solar X-ray. Solar low energy X-ray spectrometer. High energy L1 operating solar low energy X-ray spectrometer. Aditya L1 mission carries a suite of 7 payload. Visible emission line. This payload will image the solar corona in the visible light spectrum. Visible emission line coronagraph. Solar ultraviolet imaging telescope. It will image the solar chromosphere and transition region in the ultraviolet light spectrum. Chromosphere in the ultraviolet visible light. Solar low energy X-ray. This payload will measure the spectrum of the solar X-ray. High energy L1 orbiting X-ray spectrometer. This payload will measure the spectrum of the solar X-ray in the high energy range. Plasma analyzer package for Aditya Papa. This payload will measure the properties of the solar wind plasma, plasma analyzer and package for Aditya solar wind particle experiment. Aditya solar wind particle experiment. This payload will measure the properties of the energetic particles in the solar wind, such as their energy, charge, and mass. Solar irradiation monitor. Solar irradiance monitor. This payload will measure the solar irradiance, which is the total amount of energy emitted by the solar radiations energy emitted by the sun. Next, Car-19 gets marketing authorization approval from DCGI. Recently, Immunodoptive Cell Therapy Private Limited Immunodoptive Cell Therapy Private Limited had received the marketing authorization approval for the first humanized CD19 triggered chimeric. Next Car-19 gets marketing authorization from DCGI. Recently, Immunodoptive Cell Therapy Private Limited has recently marketed ImmunoAct had received the marketing authorization and for the approval for the first humanized CD19 target chimeric antigen receptor CAR-T therapy product for the related reproductive B-cell lymphomas and leukemia in India. What is next CAR-19? It's a chimeric antigen. Next CAR-19 is a chimeric antigen receptor 19 and indigenously developed CD19 targeted CAR-T cell therapy. It is the first of its kind made in India product. Who developed it? Next Car-19 is the culmination of the collaborative effort of a decade between IIT Bombay and Tata Memorial Centre Mumbai. Who got its marketing right? DCGI, the Drug Controller General of India, to give marketing authorization to ImmunoAct. first light with record-breaking data transmission. Recently, NASA's Psyche spacecraft, after currently over 60 million kilometers away in space, successfully fired a laser signal on Earth. In November 2000, NASA का deep space optical communication an experiment achieved the first flight by transmitting data via laser over nearly 10 million miles, that is 16 million kilometers. This is about 14 times farther than the distance between the Earth and the Moon. This is the record-breaking distance which sets a new record for the optical communication. DSOC, Deep Space Optical Communication Experiment, transmitted a near-infrared laser with test data to the Hale telescope at Caltech Palomar Observatory in San Diego County, California. The laser was transmitted and received by a flight laser transceiver aboard NASA's Psyche spacecraft. DSOC is part of NASA's Psyche mission, and its goal is to send high bandwidth test data to Earth while Psyche travels through the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. DSOC is part of NASA's Psyche mission, and its goal is to send high bandwidth test data to Earth. Part of NASA's Psyche mission, and its goal is to send high bandwidth test data on Earth while Psyche travels to the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. Part of NASA's Psyche mission, and its goal is to send high bandwidth test data to Earth while Psyche travels to the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. NASA's Psyche mission. The Psyche mission aimed to explore the asteroid Psyche located between the Mars and Jupiter. The Psyche mission aimed to explore the asteroid Psyche located between the Mars and Jupiter. The Psyche mission explore a asteroid between Mars and Jupiter. The Psyche is a rare metallic asteroid believed to be exposed nickel iron core of the event. Psyche is a rare metallic asteroid believed to be the exposed nickel iron core of an early planet. The mission launched on October 2023 from the Kennedy Space Center via SpaceX Falcon 9 Heavy rocket. The Psyche is the first spacecraft that uses deep space optical communication and transceiver received by the NASA. Nobel Prize in Physiology or the Medicine 2003. Katalin Karikó and Drew Weissman have shared the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine. Katalin Karikó and Drew Weissman have shared the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine 2003 for their discoveries regarding the nucleoside-based modification that enable the development of effective mRNA vaccine against the COVID-19. Additionally, vaccines use vegan or the inactive. Katalin Karikó and Drew have shared the Nobel Prize in Physiology. Nobel Prize in Physiology. Katalin and Drew Nobel Prize for their discoveries regarding the nucleoside have modifications that enable the development of effective mRNA vaccine against the COVID-19. Traditionally, vaccines use weakened or inactivated virus to stimulate antibody production, but large-scale development of these vaccines requires cell culture, growing cells under controlled conditions, which is time-consuming. Regarding nucleoside have modifications that enable the development of effective mRNA vaccine against the COVID-19. Traditionally, vaccines use weakened or inactivated virus to stimulate antibody, but large-scale development of these vaccines requires cell culture, growing cells under controlled conditions, which is time-consuming. During COVID-19, this time-consuming way of producing vaccine proved ineffective. This way, the mRNA technology proved crucial because mRNA vaccines use genetically engineered mRNA to instruct cells to make the protein. Genetically engineered mRNA to instruct cells to make the protein needed to fight against a particular virus. mRNA, short for messenger RNA, is a molecule that carries instruction from DNA to the cells. DNA से इंफॉर्मेशन इंस्ट्रक्शन जाता है तो सेल का साइटोप्लाज्म to produce protein. What Karikó and Weissman did to make the mRNA technology viable for vaccine. Karikó and Weissman found a way to modify mRNA which abolished the immune response generation by bodies against them, making mRNA reach tech viable for large-scale vaccine production. COVID-19 vaccine Moderna, US and Pfizer use this mRNA technology. The Nobel Prize for Physics. तो इसमें कितना ने Katalin Karikó, Drew Weissman. Nobel Prize 2023 in Physics have been jointly awarded to Pierre Ferenc Annie for experimental methods that generate the attosecond pulse of light for the study of the electron dynamics in matter. Pierre Agostini ये यूएसए के हैं, फ्रैंक हंगरी जर्मनी के हैं, एंड एनी जो है वो स्वीडन की हैं. एनी स्वीडन की, फेरेंक जो है जर्मनी की, पियर यूएसए की. इलेक्ट्रॉन डायनेमिक्स रेफर टू द स्टडी ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ द बिहेवियर एंड द मोशन ऑफ द इलेक्ट्रॉन्स. Behavior and motion of electron within atom, molecule and solid material. Electrons being lighter and interacting even faster or operate within the attosecond realm, a billionth of a second. They demonstrated a way to create extremely short pulse also lasting in a few attoseconds of a light that can be used to measure the rapid process in which the electrons move or change energy. The researchers were able to study the processes that were moving so quickly that it was previously impossible to keep up with them. The researchers were able to study the processes. They demonstrated a way to create extremely short pulse of light that can be used to measure the rapid process in which electrons move or change energy. Researchers were able to study the processes that were moving so quickly that it was previously impossible to keep up with them. In order to comprehend and regulate how electrons behave in a material, it is crucial to use this new technology. These short pulses can be applied to test the internal process and events of matter. Nobel Prize in Chemistry जो है for the discovery of synthesis of quantum dot, मोंगी, लुइस, एलेक्सी have been given the Nobel Prize in Chemistry. मोंगी जो है यूएसए के, लुइस भी यूएसए के, एलेक्सी भी यूएसए की. Quantum dots, also called tiny particles in the range of a few nanometer, because of their small size they have distinctive optical characteristics. Their structure and atomic composition are the same as the bulk material for the properties of quantum, but the properties of quantum dots also depends on the size. Altering the size of the quantum dot can change the characteristics. Altering the size change the characteristics. They are differently colors according to the size. Nobel laureate contribution Alexei in and around 1980, Alexei was the first to observe the non-wise behavior of the copper chloride nanoparticles, showcasing their distinctive properties. Scientist Louis Pruitt made a similar discovery, including the cadmium sulfide, copper chloride, cadmium sulfide, copper chloride CuCl2, cadmium sulfide CdS, cadmium sulfide. और जो मोंगी है for the played a pivotal role in simplifying the production method of nanoparticle with unique characteristics. Nobel Prize. The Nobel Prize with Alfred Nobel, established in 1895 through his last will and testament as a reflection of his wide-ranging interests. He is known for inventing dynamite and is holder of 355 patents. The first prizes were awarded in 1901 and they have been awarded annually since then. The categories were laid out in the will of Alfred: physics, chemistry, physiology, medicine, literature. In 1968, Sveriges Riksbank, Sweden Central Bank, established the Sveriges Riksbank Prize and in economic sciences in memory of Alfred Nobel. Among the recipients till now 12 are Indian, 5 Indian citizens and 7 of Indian ancestry. रविंद्रनाथ टैगोर 12 है, till now 12 are Indians. Among the recipients 12 है, जिसमें 5 Indian citizens हैं and 7 of Indian ancestry. Rabindranath Tagore was the first Indian citizen to be awarded and also the first Asian to be awarded in 1913. China sends its youngest ever crew to space. Recently, China's ambitious space program taken another giant leap forward with the successful launch of the Shenzhou 17 spacecraft, carrying the country's youngest ever crew to the Tiangong space station, named the Shenzhou 17 or Divine Vessel. It was launched from Jiuquan Satellite Launch Center in northwest China. चाइना के नॉर्थ वेस्ट में. मिशन ऑब्जेक्टिव एम टू बूस्ट स्पेस रिसर्च एंड मेंटेनेंस ऑफ द स्पेस स्टेशन. मेंटेनेंस ऑफ स्पेस स्टेशन. द टियांगोंग स्पेस स्टेशन कंप्लीटेड इन 2022 कैन हाउस अप टू 3 एस्ट्रोनॉट्स एंड ऑपरेटर्स एट एन ऑर्बिटल एल्टीट्यूड टू 450 किलोमीटर. इज एक्सपेक्टेड टू हैव एन ऑपरेशनल लाइफ स्पैन ऑफ ओवर 15 साल. गगनयान टीवी-D1 मिशन. रिसेंटली द इसरो सक्सेसफुली लॉन्च द टीवी-D1 टेस्ट फ्लाइट. द गगनयान TB-D1 Test Vehicle Development Flight 1 mission was the first development flight from the Gaganyaan program. It was launched successfully from the Satish Dhawan Space Center, Sriharikota Island in Andhra Pradesh. The mission objective and importance. This launch mission takes India a step closer to realizing its first human space flight program. A thorough evaluation of the test vehicle's numerous subsystems was made possible by the TB-D1 mission. The crew's escape system, which consists of a number of separation systems to guarantee an astronaut safe escape, was rated on TB-D1 Test Vehicle Development 1. Vikram 1 rocket. Recently, Indian space company Skyroot Airports revealed its homogeneous rocket Vikram 1 in an effort to strengthen the country's private sector capacity to develop rocket. Vikram 1, named after the father of Indian space, is the program Vikram Sarabhai. Vikram 1 is a multi-stage launch vehicle. बहुत सारे स्टेज vehicle which is 7-story high, has a payload capacity of 480 into low Earth orbit. It is built by Hyderabad based Skyroot Aerospace. Vikram 1 recently is Indian space company Skyroot ने हैदराबाद में है Vikram 1 बनाया था to strengthen the country private sector capacity to develop rocket. It is an all carbon and fiber body rocket that can place multiple satellites into orbit. It will be scale up version of their first successful rocket launch of Vikram S. First वाली कौन सी थी? Vikram has successfully tested the technology, becoming the first private firm in the country to have the capability to launch the rocket into space. Vikram is a mixture of the solid fuel at the lower stage में solid and a mixture of liquid fuel in the upper stage to propel the rocket. लोअर स्टेज में सॉलिड फिर लिक्विड। ग्रीन रोबोटिक्स अनवील द ऑटोनॉमस एंटी ड्रोन सिस्टम विद द लॉन्च ऑफ द इंद्रजाल, इंडिया का पहला एआई पावर्ड एंटी ड्रोन सिस्टम। ड्रोन को उड़ाने का काम करता है। गवर्नमेंट बेस्ड ग्रीन रोबोटिक्स मेड अ सिग्निफिकेंट एडवांसमेंट इन द कंट्रीज डिफेंस टेक्नोलॉजी एडवांसमेंट। About Indrejal, India का पहला AI-powered anti-drone and the built using the 12 distinct layers of technology. Indrejal is a world first that is driven by the artificial intelligence. The state-of-the-art system can quickly and accurately identify, categorize, track, and eliminate the threat in real time. Quickly, accurately identify, categorize, track, and eliminate. Its 360-degree coverage provides defense against all types and intensities of unmanned autonomous threat across a region up to 4,000 square kilometers. Indrejal offers protection from all kinds of autonomous drones. Indrejal autonomous drone. It includes the low radar cross section threat, medium altitude long endurance, and high altitude long endurance. And it can also be used for loitering ammunition, smart bombs, rocket salvos, nano, micro drones, even smart drones. Indrejal system is a sensor and weapon agnostic, which means that it can work with a wide variety of sensors and weapon. Navic integration in smartphone recently released. The Apple iPhone 15 Pro and iPhone 15 Pro Max will support 15 Pro Max will support Navic India's native GPS system. Navic ISRO originally approved in 2006, became operational in 2018. Objective: remove dependence on foreign satellite system for navigation service, particularly for strategic sectors. Navic, also known as India's regional navigation satellite system, is an independent and standalone navigation satellite system developed by ISRO. Navic offers standard positioning service for civilian users and restricted service for strategic users. Standard positioning and restricted. It is designed with a constellation of 7 satellites in a network of ground station operating 24/7 at a total of 8 satellites. However, only 7 remain active. Navic covers the whole of India landmass and up to 15,000 kilometers. Promise boundaries. 3 satellites are in geostationary. 3 टोटल कितनी थी? 7 सैटेलाइट, टोटल 8 थी जिसमें 7 हैं, तो जिसमें से 3 जो है वो जियो स्टेशनरी में, 4 जियो सिंक्रोनस में। इंटीग्रेशन विद मोबाइल फोन, द गवर्नमेंट इज नोन टू आज द स्मार्टफोन प्लेयर टू इंटीग्रेट नाविक इनटू द हार्डवेयर। तो 15 प्रो और 15 प्रो मैक्स will support Navic. Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Prize. Recently, the CSIR announced the winners of the Bhatnagar Prize after a year delay. The winner of the Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Prize for the year 2022 was known to Dr. N. Kalai Selvi, Secretary of SDSI and Director General of CSIR. Prestigious SSB Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar for the year 2022 has been awarded to 12 leading prestigious SSB Prize. The winner of the SSB Prize for the year 2022 is Dr. N. Kalai Selvi. और बाकी जो है ऑल द 12 विनर्स फॉर द अवार्ड इज अश्वनी जी हैं और मदिका, अकातु देवब्राता, विमल मिश्रा, दीप्ति रंजन, रजनीश कुमार, अपूर्वा खरे, नीरज ख्याल, दीप्यान गांगुली, आनंद दास, वासुदेव दासगुप्ता। राष्ट्रीय विज्ञान पुरस्कार। द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया has come out the new set of national award in the field of the science, technology, innovation known as राष्ट्रीय विज्ञान पुरस्कार। राष्ट्रीय विज्ञान पुरस्कार be one of the highest recognition in the field of the science, technology and innovation in India. The objective of the राष्ट्रीय विज्ञान पुरस्कार is to recognize the notable and inspiring contribution made by the scientist technology. The award will be given in the following 4 categories. Vigyan Ratna will recognize the lifetime achievement and contribution made in any field of science and technology. Vigyan Shri award will recognize the distinguished contribution in any field of science. Vigyan Ratna award will recognize the lifetime achievement and technology made in any field of science and technology. Vigyan Ratna and Vigyan Shri award will recognize distinguished contribution in any field of science and technology. Vigyan Yuva Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar award will recognize and encourage the young scientists up to the age of 45 years who made an experienced contribution in any field of science and technology. Vigyan Team award to be given to the team comprising of 3 or more scientist researchers. The government objective is to honor notable and inspiring contribution made by scientists in the Vigyan Ratna, Vigyan Shri, Vigyan Yuva Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar, Vigyan Team. The Rashtriya Vigyan Puraskar shall be given in 13 domains. Okay, all nomination received by the Rashtriya Vigyan Puraskar Award shall be placed before the Rashtriya Vigyan Puraskar Committee. The nomination for this bouquet of award will be invited every year on 14 January, which will be open until 28 February, National Science Day. Science Day 28 February. These awards shall be announced on 11 मई नेशनल टेक्नोलॉजी डे ओपन रहेगा नेशनल साइंस डे जो कि 28 फरवरी तक होता है. टेक्नोलॉजी डे 11 मई. तो अवार्ड सेरेमनी फॉर ऑल कैटेगरीज अवार्ड विल बी हेल्ड ऑन 23 अगस्त नेशनल स्पेस डे. 11 मई 23 अगस्त द अवार्ड विल हैव अ सनाद एंड अ मेडल. अग्निबाण रॉकेट Agnikul Cosmos based in Chennai is prepared to launch the 3D printed rocket Agniban suborbital technology demonstrator. Suborbital technology demonstrator from its private launchpad located in Satish Dhawan Space Center, Sriharikota in Sriharikota. It is a single-stage launch vehicle driven by Agnikul patented Agnilet engine. Yes, suboptical Agnikul based in Chennai is prepared to launch the 3D printed rocket Agniban suborbital technological demonstrator. Suborbital technological demonstrator. Suborbital technology demonstrator. It is a single-stage launch vehicle driven by Agnikul planted Agnilet engine, an entirely 3D printed single-piece 6kN semi-cryogenic engine. It was obviously unveiled and introduced on 15 August at Agnikul Mission Control Center at Sriharikota. अग्निबाण सब ऑर्बिटल टेक्नोलॉजी डेमोन्स्ट्रेटर सिंगल स्टेज है. अग्निकुल की पेचने अग्निलेट इंजन है एंड entirely 3D printed single piece 6kN semi cryogenic engine. It was officially unveiled and indicated on 15 August at Agnikul Mission and Control Center at Sriharikota in front of the representative for the Satish Dhawan Space Center. The Indian National Space Promotion in Space. Indian National Space Promotion and Authorization as well as the several Agnikul team members. Agnikul inaugurated India का पहला launch pad and mission control at the Satish Dhawan Space, and this facility serves as the base from where Agnikul intends to execute its ambitious suborbital and orbital mission. And it's 75 endemic birds in India. 75 endemic birds in India. Geological Survey of India. 108 Foundation Day for the Geological Survey of India. India is home to 1353 bird species, which represent approximately 12.40% of the global bird diversity. 78 of 1353 bird species represent approximately 12.40% of the global biodiversity. Of these, 135 bird species are indigenous to India. The publication points out that 75 bird species belong to 11 different orders, 31 families, 25 genera. The highest number of the endemic species has been recorded in the Western Ghats with 28 bird species. Geological Survey of India was established on 8 July 1916. The headquarters is in Kolkata, West Bengal. Co-director Dr. Drishti Banerjee, Patent Organization, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. The established on Geological Survey of India 1916 Kolkata Dr. current editor Dr. Drishti Banerjee. Technology Ministry of Environment Forest and Climate Change. NASA Stereo A Earth Flyby. NASA का Stereo A spacecraft part of the Solar Terrestrial Relation Observatory. Solar Terrestrial Relation Observatory mission achieved a significant milestone. It performed first ever Earth flyby after nearly 17 years. Solar Terrestrial Relation Observatory mission Stereo is the third mission of the NASA Solar Terrestrial Probe program. It was launched in 2006 from the Cape Canaveral, Florida, with the twin spacecraft Stereo A. Stereo A stand for ahead and Stereo B stand for behind. The mission objective is to provide the first ever stereoscopic measurement to study the sun and the nature of the coronal mass ejection. PM E-Bus Seva. The Cabinet chaired by the Prime Minister has approved the bus scheme PM E-Bus Seva for augmenting city bus operation by 10,000 e-buses on PPP. And the scheme will aim to introduce 10,000 electric buses in city e-bus services across India and enhance the urban infrastructure for the green mobility. Cost and support of the scheme. The scheme would have an estimated cost of 57,000. Out of its support of rupees which is approved will be provided by the central government. The scheme will support the bus operation for 10 years, reaching the unreached. The scheme will cover cities of 3 lakh and above population. Under the scheme, the state cities shall be responsible for running the bus service and making payment to the bus operator. The central government will support these bus operations by providing in subsidy to the extent specified in the proposed scheme. National Sickle Cell Anemia Elimination by 2044. National Sickle Cell Disease are diseases that impact the tribal health section of the society. The government is committed to eliminate the disease before India celebrates its Amrit-Kal in 2047. This was stated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi as he launched the National Sickle Cell Anemia Elimination in Sahdol, Madhya Pradesh. While launched in Sahdol, the highest tribal population as per the highest ever processed by the percentage 2011 state Madhya Pradesh. The MP carried the highest number of sickle cell anemia patients in India. MP, the sickle cell anemia begins in early childhood, 5 to 6 months of the age. It is a group of inherited red blood cell disorder that affect the hemoglobin, leading to rigid sickle cell trait. ISRO Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle Safety Report 7 orbit satellite in orbit. Recently, the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle safety in Singapore का Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle C56 और सिंगापुर की DSR satellite and 6 other satellite, total 656. And ISRO from Satish Space Srikakulam, Andhra Pradesh. Polar satellite C56 3 July 2023 ISRO and launch from Satish Space Center Srikakulam. DSR सिंगापुर की है, फिर NTU फिर सिंगापुर की DSR सैटेलाइट इन सिंगापुर की आर्केड वेलेक्स कूब और कैलेसिया न्यूली ऑन सिंगापुर की. Speaks about largest private communication satellite. Recently, using the Falcon Heavy launch vehicle, Elon Musk led SpaceX launch Hughes Jupiter 3, which could be the largest private communication. सबसे बड़ी private है communication. Speed was सबसे बड़ी private communication satellite Hughes Jupiter 3. इसको SpaceX ने लॉन्च किया था. Developed by Maxar Technology in Palo Alto, California. It was launched in July 2000. Developed by Maxar Technology in California. Launched in July 2023. Falcon Heavy rocket spaceport launch complex 939A of Kennedy Space Center, Florida. Jupiter 3 satellite is designed and deliver internet service to customers in North America and South America. The satellite will support services such as in-flight 8 to Wi-Fi, flight में भी Wi-Fi, augment private Wi-Fi usage with other wireless technology. India unveils first hypersonic missile. Iran on 6 जून 2023 unveils first ever hypersonic missile Fatah or opener in Farsi, which it says can penetrate missile defense system and will give it penetrate first ever hypersonic missile defense system and give military edge. The unveiling ceremony founded by the President Ibrahim Raisi, senior commanders of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. It is an intermediate range ballistic missile developed by Iran. Iran claimed that it is a hypersonic missile capable of traveling 15 times speed of the sound. The missile can move at a speed of up to Mach 15. It has a range of 14,000 km, a movable secondary nozzle, and employs solid propellant that allow for high maneuverability. Hypersonic missile. Hypersonic एक missile moves at 5 times the speed of the sound of the greater at and are maneuverable, making them difficult for defense system and radars to target. सबसोनिक 1 से कम होता है, ट्रांसोनिक 1 के बराबर होता है, 1 से ऊपर सुपरसोनिक, 5 से ऊपर हाइपरसोनिक. 5 times 15 times the speed of the sound. Okay. United States, US हो गया, रसिया, चाइना, नॉर्थ कोरिया, इंडिया are believed to be the only country. US, Russia, China, North Korea, India are the only countries to have successfully tested hypersonic missile, but exactly the weapon remain. Can India has launched the hypersonic technology demonstrator. Hypersonic technology India ने भी लॉन्च किया hypersonic technology demonstrator unit vehicle program and under which it developing an indigenous dual capability hypersonic cruising is successfully tested Max 6 scramjet in 2019-20. उन्नत तकनीकी प्रदर्शन केंद्र the Ministry of Power Government of India set up a dedicated center of excellence to accelerate the industry adoption of the clean technology and the scale of India's contribution to the global energy transition. Under उन्नत तकनीकी प्रदर्शन sought for the उन्नत तकनीकी प्रदर्शन केंद्र Center of Excellence to accelerate the adoption of the energy efficient technology is to play a catalytic role in promoting energy efficiency in Indian industry. The center, named otherwise as Advanced Industrial Technology Demonstration Center, has been set up by the Bureau of Energy Efficiency, the Ministry of Power at Badarpur, New Delhi. Badarpur. The center, named otherwise as Advanced Industrial Technology Demonstrator Center. Advanced Industrial Technology Demonstrator Center has been set up by the Bureau of Energy Efficiency, Ministry of Power at Badarpur, New Delhi. Campus of the National Power Training Institute, Ministry of Power, Union Ministry of State for Power, Shri Krishan Pal inaugurated the center at the NPTI Badarpur, New Delhi. Okay, एक मिनट. Energy Efficiency Center, named at otherwise Advanced Industry Technology Demonstration Center. Advanced Industry Technology Demonstrators has been set up by the Bureau of Energy Efficiency, Ministry of Power at Badarpur, New Delhi. Campus at the National Power Training Institute, Ministry of Power, Union Ministry of State for Power, Shri Krishna Pal inaugurated the center at NPTI Badarpur, New Delhi. Union Minister of State for Power, Shri Krishan Pal inaugurated the center at NPTI National Power Training Institute, Badarpur, New Delhi. Tapas 001 UAV ready for user trial. On 27 June 2023, the Tapas UAV was demonstrated before the trial service team for the first time at the Aeronautical Test Range in Chitradurg. The indigenously developed a tactical aerial platform for advanced surveillance. 2001 medium altitude long, medium altitude, long endurance unmanned aerial vehicle has now ready for the evolution trial. Suppose 201 designed and developed by the Bangalore-based Aeronautical Development Establishment. It is a multi-mission UAV to carry out the intelligence and surveillance. Suppose 201 unmanned aerial vehicle ready for user trial. Suppose 21 days before the trial service team for the first time aeronautical tester in Chitradurga. They recently developed tactical aerial platform for the advanced surveillance. Tactically aerial platform for advanced surveillance. 201 medium altitude long endurance unmanned aerial vehicle. Suppose 201 designed and developed by the Bangalore based aeronautical development establishment. It is a multi-mission UAV to carry out the intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance role for the three armed forces with an endurance of 24 से 30 घंटा. General characteristics of Tapas UAV: capacity 350 kilo, performance by Tapas UAV, maximum speed 224, carry range 1000 km, endurance 2437 ceiling. United Nations Office is on Drugs and Crime. Recently on 26 June 2023, United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime released the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime World Drug Report, where alarms of converging crisis as illicit drug market continue to expand and challenges they pose to health service and law enforcement. Globally, 13.2 million abnormally people inject drugs in 2021, 18% higher than previously estimated. 296 million people use drugs in 2021. एक सेकेंड. United Nations Office on Drugs इतना. United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime released the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime World Drug Report. Alarms of converging crisis as illicit drug market continue to expand the challenges they pose to health service and law enforcement. 13.2 million newly people inject drugs, मतलब 18%. 13.2 million drugs को इंजेक्ट करते हैं. 296 million people use drugs with 45% increase over 10 years. 39.5 million suffer from drug use disorder. Youth population is most vulnerable and affected by drug menace. Youth population is most vulnerable and affected by drug menace in Africa. 70% of the people in treatment are under age 35. If illegal drug route related to India is sandwiched between the two largest opium producing region of the world, that is Golden and Triangle, and one other Golden Crescent. Another Golden Triangle area comprises of Thailand, Myanmar, Vietnam and Laos. Myanmar, Thailand, Vietnam, Laos. Golden Crescent जो है वो पाकिस्तान, अफगानिस्तान है. India is one of the world's single largest opiate market in terms of the users and would likely to expand to increase youth population. Most affected. RXV. On 3 May 2023, the US Food and Drug Administration has approved the world respiratory syncytial virus vaccine called RXV. Has approved the world का पहला respiratory syncytial virus vaccine called RXV. RXV vaccine का वर्ड का पहला respiratory RSV vaccine, respiratory syncytial vaccine for the older adult age 80 and above. US ने क्या अप्रूव किया? पूरी रिपोजिटरी सिंसाइटल वायरस, रेस्पिरेटरी सिंसाइटल वायरस, साइनस वायरस और respiratory syncytial virus is a common respiratory virus that usually causes mild and cold-like symptoms. Most people recover in a week or two, but RSV can be serious, especially for infant and older. China's Shenzhou 16 mission on 3 May, China successfully launched the spacecraft to its Tiangong Space Center, carrying 3 astronauts, including the first civilian member. Launched by Shenzhou 16 mission. On 30 May 2003, China successfully launched a spacecraft to its Tiangong space station, carrying 3 astronauts to its first ever civilian. China successfully launched a spacecraft to its Tiangong, carrying 3 astronauts, including its first civilian member. एक पहला civilian गया है. Shenzhou 16 mission launched using Long March 2F rocket launched from Jiuquan Satellite Launch Center in Gobi Desert, northwest China, carries China's first civilian astronaut. Shenzhou 16 mission was the 5th manned mission to the Chinese space operation 2021, highlighting the China's commitment to advancing space program. The crew for the Shenzhou spacecraft consists of 3 astronauts, including Gui, the first Chinese civilian to travel to space. Gui in space would replace the previous crew of Shenzhou 15. Gui Haichao. Airavat ranked 75 in global supercomputer ranking. AI supercomputer Airavat installed at CDAC Pune received a global ranking of 75. This organization was announced during the 61st edition of the top 500 global supercomputing list at the International Supercomputing Conference, जो कि जर्मनी में हुई थी. ये फुल फॉर्म AI रिसर्च एनालिटिक्स एंड नॉलेज डिसमिनेशन प्लेटफॉर्म. फुल फॉर्म AI रिसर्च एनालिटिक्स, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस रिसर्च एनालिटिक्स एंड नॉलेज डिसमिनेशन प्लेटफॉर्म मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉनिक और मीटी गवर्नमेंट ऑफ सीडैक पुणे 23 मई 2023 सुपर कंप्यूटर्स हार्नेस द कंबाइंड कंप्यूटेशनल पावर ऑफ मल्टीपल सर्वर। बहुत सारे सर्वर्स और कंप्यूटिंग डिवाइस लगाते हैं, उनकी कंप्यूटिंग पावर को कंबाइन को यूज़ हार्नेस करके एफिशिएंटली प्रोसेस वास्ट अमाउंट ऑफ डेटा एंड एक्यूट इंटीग्रेट कैलकुलेशन वास्ट अमाउंट ऑफ डेटा एंड एरावत पीओसी और 200 AI पेटाफ्लॉप इंटीग्रेटेड विद एरावत पीओसी of 200 AI petaflop integrated with Param Siddhi AI of 210 petaflop gives a total peak compute of 4,410. AI petaflop makes precision and sustained compute capacity of 8.5 petaflop per precision. The peak compute capacity double precision replicates 13 petabyte. India's program for AI development, the Future Skill Prime program, initiated by the Ministry of Electronic Information and NASCOM, focus on reskilling, upskilling IT professionals including AI. The Future Skill Prime program initiated by Ministry of Electronics and IT Media and NASCOM focus on reskilling and upskilling. Reskilling and upskilling IT professionals including AI. Future Skill Prime program. Indian Astronomical Observatory to observe BL Lacerta. Indian Astronomical Observatory has formed partnership with an international telescope to observe and study the phenomena of BL Lacerta, a blazar located approximately 950 million light years away from the Earth. A blazar. Indian Astronomical Observatory to observe BL Lacerta. The Indian Astronomical Observatory has formed partnership with an international telescope to observe and study the phenomena of BL Lacerta. Indian Astronomical Observatory observe BL Lacerta. This is a blazar located approximately 950 million light years away from the Earth and formed by the Indian Astronomical Observatory Henley, Ladakh, and entered the global telescope in May 2003 to observe the BL Lacerta blazar एक टाइप की गैलेक्सी होती है पावर्ड बाय द ginormous black hole are among the brightest and the most energetic object in the sky. They belong to the class of galaxies known as active galactic nuclei or active galactic nuclei, the reference to the supermassive black holes that power them. BL Lac was first discovered by the Kuno Hofmeister in 1929. BL Lac was first discovered by Kuno Hofmeister. BL Lac was first discovered by Kuno Hofmeister in 1929. Okay, blazar, a type of galaxy powered by the ginormous black hole, are among the brightest, most energetic objects in the sky. They belong to a class of galaxy known as active galactic nuclei or active galactic nuclei, a reference to the supermassive black hole that power them. BL Lac was first discovered by the Kuno Hofmeister in 1929. Penumbral lunar eclipse. On 5 May 2023, sky watchers and astronomy enthusiasts observed the celestial phenomena of penumbral lunar eclipse. Recently, the penumbral lunar eclipse observed on 5 May 2023 observed from many parts of the world, including India, where moon was above horizon. Penumbral lunar eclipse. On 5 May 2023, sky watchers and astronomy enthusiasts observed the celestial phenomena. Okay. Galaxy powered by ginormous black hole are among the brightest, most energetic objects in the sky. They belong to the class of galaxies known as active galactic nuclei. Known as active galactic nuclei, reference to supermassive black hole that power them. BL Lac was first discovered by Kuno Hofmeister in 1921. On 5 May 2023, sky watchers and astronomy enthusiasts observed the celestial phenomena of penumbral lunar eclipse of penumbra. Many parts of the world, including India, where moon was above horizon 15 से 15 GMT. First of two lunar eclipses are expected to occur every year. Penumbral lunar eclipse. The lunar eclipse occurs as a result of the Earth passing between the Moon and Sun with the three bodies in a straight line that results in the shadow of Earth falling on Moon. In penumbral lunar eclipse, Moon moves through the outermost region of the Earth's shadow, known as penumbra. This is an area in which the Earth appears to cover part of the Sun's disk, but not overly. Sarah, world's first robotic check-in assistant. Sarah. Recently, the Dubai-based Emirate Airline has launched the world का पहला robotic check-in assistant named Sarah. Emirate Airline 27 the robotic check-in assistant for people boarding the airline. Sarah. The robot is equipped with facial recognition technology and can print boarding passes, making facial recognition and can print boarding pass, making the check-in process and more efficient. It can also match customers' faces with scanned passport and check them in and guide them to the luggage drop area. 3 parents baby mitochondrial donation treatment. Recently, a baby was born in the United Kingdom from the DNA using the 3 people born by the new IVF procedure called mitochondrial donation treatment. The 3 parents baby was using the DNA of the Three people in an effort to prevent children from inherently incurable disease. The first such baby was born in USA in 2016. The embryo combined the sperm and the eggs from the biological parents and mitochondria from the donor's egg. The two techniques of immunity, maternal spindle transfer, the nucleus. The nuclear genetic material is removed from the eggs and transferred into the donated egg that have their nuclear genetic material removed. The egg are then fertilized with sperm to create embryo. Pro-nuclear transfer. The eggs are fertilized with the sperm in a lab to create embryo. एग और स्पर्म को फर्टिलाइज़ किया जिससे एम्ब्रियो बन गया. पहले एग और स्पर्म को फर्टिलाइज किया, एम्ब्रियो बना. न्यूक्लियर जेनेटिक मटेरियल विद इन ईच एम्ब्रियो इज देन ट्रांसफर्ड इनटू द एम्ब्रियोज क्रिएटेड यूजिंग डोनेटेड एग एंड स्पर्म फ्रॉम द स्पर्म प्रोवाइडर. द न्यूक्लियर जेनेटिक मटेरियल विद इन द एम्ब्रियो इज देन ट्रांसफर्ड फ्रॉम एम्ब्रियो transferred into embryo using donated egg and sperm from the sperm provider. Again, the nuclear genetic material will have been removed from the donated egg. Axiom Space Station. Recently, Axiom Space Station, the second private mission of two international space private mission. Axiom Mission 2 was successfully launched. अब Axiom Mission 2 21 मई 2023 with the astronaut including the Peggy A. Whitson, mission commander John, with the astronauts including Peggy Whitson, mission commander John Shopman. एक एस्ट्रोनॉट है जिनका नाम पैगी विटसन. मिशन कमांडर जॉन शॉपमैन, जॉन अली रयाना टू रयाना बर्नावी by SpaceX Dragon spacecraft Falcon 9 rocket. Axiom Space 2 is the second step toward the construction of world's first commercial space station. Axiom Space Station. Axiom 2 crew safely splashed on at 11:04 p.m. 30 May 2023 upon Axiom Space Station will be the world's first commercial space station. It is underway following the completion of the preliminary and critical design review in collaboration with NASA. Axiom Space is preparing for 2025 launch of it's the first section of the next generation platform that will operate in a low Earth orbit. Headquartered in Houston, Texas. Jupiter Icy Moon Explorer JUICE mission. The European Space Agency launched its Jupiter Icy Moon Explorer JUICE mission on April 12, 2023 from spacecraft French Guiana. JUICE mission Euro spacecraft French Guiana Jupiter system ESA Jupiter Ice Moon Explorer. JUICE will make the detailed observation of the giant gas planet and its three large ocean-bearing moons. The ocean-bearing moons called the Ganymede, Callisto, Europa, with a suite of remote sensing geophysical in situ instrument. The remote geophysical in situ. The mission will characterize these moons as both planetary objects and possible habitats. To explore Jupiter's complex environment in depth and study the wide Jupiter system as an archetype for gas giants across the universe. After an 8-year cruise to Jupiter, utilizing Earth, Moon, and Venus gravity asset. After an 8-year cruise to Jupiter utilizing Earth, Moon and Venus gravity assets, JUICE will go into the Moon orbit around Jupiter. After an 8-year cruise to Jupiter utilizing Earth, Moon and Venus gravity assets, JUICE will go into orbit around Jupiter in July 2031. Jupiter and its moon. Jupiter is the fifth planet from the Sun and the largest in the solar system. It is a gas giant. There are 95 moons of the Jupiter. The most impressive of the moons are the 4 Galilean moons जैसे Europa, Ganymede, Callisto, एक है Io. Thank you.